Perry Stone said something shocking that could end Josh Lamb's career. After years of rumors and lies, Stone has finally told us some shocking facts that make us really wonder what Lamb was up to behind the scenes. Lamb used to be a well-known name in the world of Christian service. She is now involved in a scandal that could ruin everything she has worked for. Listen in as we talk about the shocking news and what it means for her future. There was a lot of talk about Perry Stone's story about Joni Lamb when it came out. It made a lot of people in the world of Christian preaching very upset. People have been wondering about Lamb's job at Daystar television network for years, but no one was brave enough to say what was really going on, until Stone's strong words broke it. They broke the silence and told everyone what was going on. Everyone in the business had their own ideas about what Lamb might have been doing because she was so powerful and thought she could change things to help herself. On the side, some people thought Lamb was giving money to other ministers to get them to support her plan. A lot of people were scared to think that a strong woman could run Christian TV, especially since money was at stake. Some even said she had made deals to silence possible whistleblowers or government workers who might have said they would tell the public what was going on behind closed doors. Some people close to the network said that Lamb had used her power to change the shows to help her business. There were more and more reports. People started to guess what kinds of deals she might have made with other well-known preachers to keep Daystar under her control. Some people even said she might have gone along with shady business deals that benefited her. It was hard not to think that Lamb might be a puppet master running a kingdom based on faith. As more stories came out, some people saw how strong she really was. Could it have hurt more than just Daystar? What about other businesses? Lamb was always seen as the quiet, helpful co-founder of Daystar. Many people started to wonder if there was more to the story after Stone's claims. Were these stories just that, or were there some truth to them? Many people who had been quiet before began to share their thoughts after hearing about Perry Stone's news. Longtime workers in the field, including some who had worked with Lamb or Daystar for years, started to report strange things happening and sudden unexplainable changes in the leadership of the network. What made Lamb so powerful? These experts talked about it and asked how a woman who had never worked in church or broadcasting could have become so powerful in Christian media so quickly. It stopped being whispers when Stone told the truth. There was full-on talk, and Lamb's possible power was shown in ways that no one knew about before. From there, the story seemed more likely as things began to fit together. It was all just a guess at first. Let's start by talking about 2025 and the word the Lord gave us. For 30 years, the Lord has helped me see things through. People have texted or emailed the office about this. Daystar will be safe again thanks to Perry Stone. It's now that he's writing about dreams he has of a lake full of fish and souls, and mean, nasty people who are preachers are getting in the way of the fishers doing their job. Perry, why don't you write down the dream you say you had? Yes, a few close friends told me that you saw Joni and Rachel Lamb Brown die in a lake at Daystar about a year ago. Says Perry Stone, I didn't know this was going to happen. Joni screamed, did Joni and Rachel drown in your dream? That shocking thing Perry Stone said about Joni Lamb and how it hurt his career. That shocking thing Perry Stone said about Joni Lamb shook the world of Christian TV. Stone was a well-known figure in the church world and a prophet who taught powerful lessons. People had always been affected by what he said. But this time it wasn't a message of hope or a call to faith. It was actually a strong charge that would destroy everything Lamb had worked so hard to make. Things changed after Stone said what he did in public. It wasn't just another debate about faith. It was also a direct threat to everything Joni Lamb had stood for years. People at Daystar Television Network saw Joni Lamb as the quiet, behind-the-scenes boss. Their husband, Marcus Lamb, helped them start the station. There was no way to argue with her power in the world of Christian media. Daystar had broadcast its message to millions of people all over the world. People knew Lamb to be calm, polite, and someone they could trust at work. Perry Stone said, though, that she was more than what she seemed to be. Stone said Lamb used her money and power to get what she wanted from important people in the church world. He said that Lamb could give money to some groups in exchange for help writing prophetic messages that fit with her plans for the network because of Daystar's rise to fame. For many people who knew Lamb, like Stone, the claims hit close to home. He said Lamb had power over him and other well-known pastors for more than just business. He used spiritual power as pressure. Stone said that Lamb had led his prophetic ministry in the right direction by telling him in a sneaky way to align his messages with her vision and use Daystar's fame to spread those messages. He told her that her money had given her more than just a place at the table. It had given her a lot of control over the messages that were sent to everyone in the world. Stone said it had to do with power as well as money. Stone had always been open about the times he had failed or made mistakes in his ministry.
Now, though, he couldn't keep quiet about how he felt Lamb had too much power over other people in the Christian TV world. While everyone else was reacting to Stone's words, Joni Lamb was hurt very badly, very quickly. Her job was based on trust and power when she was younger. It was down by a thread now. More attention was being paid to Daystar, who was the star of her work and a sign of her success. Before, it was thought to be a great example of Christian programming, but now there are claims of cheating and manipulation. As Lamb's role in running and programming Daystar was called into question, many people began to wonder if she wanted to control the story of Christian media more than share the message. At Stone's claims, people were shocked, didn't believe him, and were very upset with him. Lamb was always seen as a strong and helpful woman in the church. She and her husband worked hard to make Daystar what it is today. But Stone's strong words made a lot of people wonder if she was much stronger than they thought. Lamb's job changed quickly and in a big way. A few days after Stone was found out, news started to spread that fewer people were watching Daystar. A lot of people who used to support the network felt lied to, especially Daystar fans who had watched it for years and believed in its message of faith, hope, and Christian values. Many people lost faith when they learned that the church might have been used to make money for some people. The things that were said about Lamb changed the way most people and Christians saw him. People used to think it was the best Christian TV show, but now that it's been in trouble, it looks dirty. A lot of people began to question whether or not Daystar's shows were real and whether the messages they had been hearing for years were really from God or just a way for the company to make money. The more the claims were looked into, the more Lamb felt like he had to say something. The media used to be nice to her and her family, but now they are mean to them. News stories that used to praise Daystar for its size and influence are now questioning how it works and what its real reasons for success are. More information made it less clear how much power Lamb really had in the network. She was always thought of as a co-founder. The rumors got worse whether she answered or not. Most people thought Lamb would say something in public about the claims, but she didn't. What she didn't say said a lot. They didn't say what role she played in the scandal or if she would be held accountable for how Daystar was run. People began to wonder what Lamb really meant by what Stone said, which was one of the worst things about it. Not everyone liked Lamb, and some said it sounded like she might have used her job to make a lot of money at the expense of the people she said she would serve. Some people said she twisted religious ideas to make money and made Daystar a business instead of a mission. Christian TV is meant to help people grow in their faith and meet their spiritual needs. Now, though, the show's very purpose has been called into question. As Stone's secret spread, more and more of Lamb's old fans turned away from Daystar, which hurt his career even more. No longer do people trust the network as much as they used to. It was once seen as a sign of success in Christian media. Many of Lamb's closest friends, like other pastors and TV stars, had to leave her side in public. Along with many others, well-known Christians in the media were alarmed at the direction Daystar had taken while Lamb was in charge. A lot of people in the Christian media world were upset when they said they were being harmed and had too much power. But it wasn't just about one woman's job at a TV network. It was also about the morality of Christian TV shows and whether the ministry's money goals had taken precedence over its spiritual mission. It wasn't clear what would happen to Daystar in the future, and the network was working hard to fix its bad name. It was very bad for Lamb's career. People used to look up to her as a leader in Christian TV, but now she was trying to keep the little respect she still had. It was clear that Stone's words hurt both his relationships and his business. There was a threat to the network she and her husband had built, and she had no idea what would happen to Daystar next. Christianity used to trust Lamb, but now some people were not sure if she was following her calling or just wanting to use her power to make her own kingdom. The scandalous things Stone said about Lamb began a new part of his career that would be full of public backlash and scandal. People were mad, upset, and confused all at the same time when Stone told them his secrets. Following Lamb for years, many people began to doubt everything they were told. More than just Lamb was hurt by this scandal. It cast a dark shadow over the whole Christian TV business. More attention was paid than ever before to the world of televangelism, which had been impossible to get into until now. The shocking thing Perry Stone said would forever change Joni Lamb's job path. She had built her career on trust and power, but now it was in shambles. It would be hard for her to get back on track while she dealt with the shock of the scandal that destroyed her reputation for good. Your mom asked us to call you back so you can talk to us. You have 24 hours from tomorrow from 2:30 to 3 when we sign this. Okay, sign that and go back to Arnold's office. Read it over and over until you're happy with it. Tomorrow you should sign it. You have until I say 3, which is in 24 hours. You will have to work for someone else after you don't do that. You will be kicked off the board and your job as vice president if you don't do that. You still have a job. That's where we are now. To be exact, we had to move to do that because you weren't there. You already took it away. Did you fire me? That's why you didn't do it. To be exact, you took yourself out of the game. You did get rid of the vice president. We agreed to let you have 24 hours to think about it before that, before Daystar sends you her letter. She asked us to. If you've been following Christian media, you may have heard about Joni Lamb. Since Perry Stone's shocking claims, there has been a lot more talk and rumors about her. For many years, Lamb was a respected and well-known figure in the world of Christian radio and TV. The Daystar television network was started by her and her husband Marcus Lamb. A lot of people saw Daystar on Christian TV shows, and his name quickly became well known. Because she helped start the network and ran it with other people, Lamb was seen as a deeply religious woman. That was because she had served, been in public, and taught religion for many years. However, things went badly for her when the famous preacher Perry Stone said something hurtful about her. He blamed her for changing prophetic messages, misusing money, and even making him doubt her honesty when she made Daystar shows. People said that Lamb was very powerful at Daystar before Stone came forward. People didn't understand how someone who hadn't gone to school for broadcasting or media could get so much power at a big TV network. Some people said that Lamb wasn't just a passive character, and that she was actually very involved in making sure the network went in the right direction, and sometimes changed the messages to suit her own needs. For a long time, some people have thought that she might have used her money to change how Daystar was run. Some people even said that her personal goals and control over Daystar's business deals hurt the network's main goal. This made a lot of people wonder what the real reasons were for its success. As soon as Stone's claims were made public, these kinds of conversations turned into full-on rumors. Some of the people who used to praise Lamb for her work on Christian TV started to doubt it more. Many people heard bad things about her very quickly. People thought she was pulling strings on other church ministries. Some people began to wonder if Lamb was abusing her position to get important people to do business with her, and even if she was forcing them to spread messages that were more about her own personal and financial goals than the spiritual needs of the audience. Many people asked her if she had been using Daystar for her own reasons instead of as a mission to share the gospel. This was a simple but important question. One of the more unpleasant rumors that began to spread was that Lamb was using pastors like Perry Stone to push causes that would help Daystar's business. There were rumors that Stone, who had a huge following for his prophetic lessons, might have been paid by Lamb to make sure that Daystar could use Stone's predictions in their shows. There were rumors that Lamb was using her control over Daystar's resources to change how groups and their messages were shown in a sneaky way. There was more to it than just giving her money. They also used her power to make a story that helped her. Some critics said there were rumors about both Lamb's personal life and his work in the media. Some people believed Lamb had become too involved with Daystar's business side, and that her relationships with important people in the church had changed from being personal to businesslike. People began to wonder what she was up to. Did she want to get more power and influence at work at the church, or did she really want to spread faith and support her husband's plans for the network? People who knew Lamb well said she had been lying, and even compared her actions to those of Jezebel in the Bible. Some rumors got even worse because of this. A strong woman in this story gets things done by having a lot of power over men, even if it hurts other people. Some people thought that Lamb had used her power to control the ministry and the media to further her own goals. However, no proof was given that the two cases were similar. Some people thought they knew more than just how to change predictive words. It was also said that Lamb was getting farther away from Daystar's spiritual goal. Many people who didn't like her thought that she was too focused on business and making more money, which took her away from the ministry's main goal, which was to serve God and spread the message. Some people thought Daystar's goal had changed from being based on faith to being more about getting what they wanted and being in charge. People talked even more after this. Some people began to question whether Daystar was really a church or just a business that looked like a religious network. Some people inside Daystar began to say that Lamb's power had helped turn the network into a business empire instead of a place where spirituality and faith were valued. Some people even asked Lamb if she had ever really cared about Daystar's goal, or if she had always been more focused on building her own strong kingdom. It became more likely that she worked at Daystar as more people talked about it. Also, Lamb seemed to be hiding more and more. She seemed like a kind and humble leader when no one was around. She and her husband worked together to make something important. However, the news story said that the woman had manipulated people and events to achieve her goals. The difference between how she looked in public and what people said about her behind closed doors made people who followed her lose a lot of faith in her. People used to trust Lamb in the world of Christian radio and TV, but now they are doubting her morals and honesty. As soon as people heard what Perry Stone had to say, rumors about Lamb spread like wildfire. Some people who had been fans of Daystar for years joined the chat. It wasn't just reviewers or people who worked on the show. The story spread quickly on social media and in the news, giving both fans and opponents a chance to say what they thought. Now that everything Joni Lamb did was being closely watched, her once great image seemed to be in danger. She was at the center of an event that would change how people saw her. She wasn't just one of the people who started Daystar anymore. Talk of what would happen to Daystar was also swirling around. A lot of people started to wonder if Daystar could live without Lamb once her role was called into question. With new management, would the network still air its shows, or would the claims cause it to fail? More people started to talk about Daystar's future. A few people thought it might be time for a new leader and a change in how the network did business. A lot of rumors went around about whether Lamb would quit or try to defend herself against the charges. As more and more rumors spread about Joni Lamb's role in Daystar, it became clear that her career, which had seemed stable at first, was now in a tough spot. A lot of bad things were said about her at work and in her personal life, which made her future look bleak. It didn't matter if these rumors were true or not, they made her look bad. A lot of people were worried about the woman they used to admire and whether she could get back on track after everything that had been said, what this meant for her job, or if it was the end of her.